we can expect management responsibility, which is visible in parable of the gold bags. And this is in Matthew 25, verse 14 through 19. Scripture reads, "For the kingdom of heaven is a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them 5 other talents. And likewise, he that had received 2 also gained another 2. But he that had received 1 went and digged in the earth and hid the Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord of those servants come back and reckoned with them." All right, so let's break it down. We're going to break down verse 14 through 15. Traveling into a far country means going abroad. So of course, this man traveling, he's leaving his domain and coming into another domain. Called means invited or titled. Servants means sons. Delivered means entrusted or given power. Goods means wealth, property, and possessions. Gave means to let have. Talents equals money. So when I was doing a little research, 1 talent today is around $4,080. So the first son, because he had 5 talents, had a grand total of $20,000, $20,400. The second son had, because he had 2 talents, he had $8,160. And then the third son, because he had 1 talent, had $4,080. All right. And so we know that the man gave them according to their abilities, right? And so ability here means strength, morality, and power. Straight away means immediately, and took his journey means to go away from a foreign country or to go back abroad. So here's the revelation for verse 14 through 15. "The kingdom of heaven is like a man going abroad to another country, who called and titled his sons," right? Entitled means to give them the royal entitlements. "And entrusted them with wealth, property, and possessions. And he gave 1 son $4,080, another son $20,400, and another, and another he gave 8,160. To every man according to his strength and morality, and immediately he left the country again." Okay, so let's go move on to verse 16. Verse 16 through 19 says, "Then he that had received 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made another 5 talents. And likewise, he that received 2, he also gained other 2. But he that had received 1 went and digged into the earth, and hid his Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord of the servants cometh and reckoned with them." So traded here, because that's what it says that the first son did, the one with the 5 talents. He traded. That meant he worked or he labored. Made means produced. So he worked and labored, and he produced 5 additional talents, and basically doubled the money. Other here means another. Gained means acquired. Earth is a country or a territory. And then reckoned means to settle accounts. So the revelation of these verses is, the man who received $20,400 worked and doubled the money. So now he has $40,800. The man who received $8,160 worked and doubled the money. So now he has $16,320. But the one who had $4,080 hid the money in the territory. The master comes back looking for a return on an investment. So for all of y'all who don't think God wants an ROI based on what he's invested in you, you are sadly mistaken. No one invests in anyone without looking for an ROI. You don't either. When you invest in relationships, when you invest in people, you're looking for various degrees of return on your investment. When you feel that people squander your investment, you're least likely to invest in them again, right? Because they mismanaged the moment. We are property owners. God can be seen, or Jesus can be seen, as the man traveling from abroad, traveling from his kingdom into the earth kingdom to give us rulership or ownership of the wealth, the property, and the possessions here. Because you know, the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, but we are the landowners because he is the King of kings and the Lord of lords. So because he has entrusted us with his money, his possessions, and his property, he's looking for us to manage it correctly and give him a return on investment. Okay, so verse 20 through 21 says, and he tells us that when the son who doubled the 5 talents presented the ROI to the Lord said, "Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of the Lord." Well done here means prosper. Good means useful and honorable, and faithful means trustworthy. So the revelation here is prosper, useful, honorable, and trustworthy son. So he's declaring blessings over this son right now. You have been trustworthy over a few things. I will set you over many things. Come into my joy. Which lets me know that there's more on the other side of the joy of the Lord, right? So because the son with 5 talents doubled it, the man or God saw him as prosperous, useful, and honorable, and trustworthy. Which means that because you did this part right, I'm going to give you more to manage. So for everyone feeling like, why isn't God using me? Why isn't God, doubling anything in my life or advancing me in life? I want to ask you, have you managed the field that he's giving you the money in, and have you given him an ROI in the area of that he has you in right now? Let's keep going. Verse 22 and 23 tells us that the one who had 2 talents also doubled the money, and the Lord said the same thing to him. Verse 24 tells us that the one who had 1 talent didn't double the money, but said, "Lord, I knew thee that thou art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast, that is thine." The fascinating thing about this scripture is that the servant or the son was in relationship with the Lord, and he knew his character because he said, I knew this about you. But instead of relating to the man based on what he knew, the son or the servant did the opposite, right? So what was the consequence of not doing what you knew to do as a being in a relationship with this person, knowing the character of this person, knowing what the person expects of you? What is the consequence? Well, we see the consequence. It says, his master replied, "You wicked, lazy servant. So you knew that I harvest where I had not sown, and gather where I scatter not seed. Well then, you should have put my money on deposit with the bankers, so when I return, I would have received it back with interest. So take the bag of gold from him and give it to the one who has 10 bags. For whoever has will be given more, and they will have in abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. And throw that worthless servant outside into the darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth." Are you the worthless servant? Have you been the one who had not invested God's talents that he's given you and given him a return on an investment or a harvest? Or are you like, oh, it's just me. I'm not going to replicate. I'm not going to produce. I'm not going to do this. Here I am, Lord. And he's like, I didn't want just one of you. I wanted you to reproduce. I wanted you to go out and make disciples. I wanted a return on my investment that I made in you. As a result of you not managing this moment correctly, you're worthless, wicked, and lazy. Those are Jesus' words, not mine.